Mano Bobe Gama Dhamma Mano Siddha Mano Maya Mana Saji Pasanina Basadiwa Karodiwa Tatona Sukha Manuiti Sayawa Nabayini. All matter phenomena have mind as their forerunner. They have mind as their chief. They are mind made. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him like a shadow that never leaves him. Today, I would like to share with you a story from the Dhamma, verse 2. It is the story of a young Brahmin named Metta Kundali. This story remains as how powerful the mind is and how even one moment of pure faith can bring great benefit. The story of Metta Kundali is like this. While residing at the Jidavana monastery in Savatthi, the Buddha delivered verse 2 with reference to Metta Kundali, a young Brahmin. Metta Kundali was a young Brahmin whose father, Adina Bobaka, was very stingy and never gave anything in charity. Even the gold ornaments for his only son were made by himself to save payment for workmanship. When his son fell ill, no physician was consulted, and then it was too late. When he realized that his son was dying, he had the youth carried outside onto the veranda so that people coming to his house would not see his possessions. On that morning, the Buddha, rising early from his deep meditation of compassion, saw Metta Kundali lying on the veranda. So when entering Savatthi for alms food with his disciples, the Buddha stopped near the door of the Brahmin Adina Bobaka. The Buddha sent forth a ray of light to attract the attention of the youth who was facing the interior of the house. The youth saw the Buddha, and as he was very weak, he could only profess his faith mentally. But that was enough. When he passed away with his heart in devotion to the Buddha, he was reborn in the towering sun's celestial world. From his celestial abode, the young Metta Kundali, seeing his father mourning over him at the cemetery, appeared to the old man in the likeness of his old self. He told his father about his rebirth in the towering sun world, and also asked him to approach and invite the Buddha to a meal. At the house of Adina Bobaka, the question of whether one could or could not be reborn in the celestial world simply by mentally professing profound faith in the Buddha, without giving in charity or observing the moral precepts, was brought up. So the Buddha willed that Metta Kundali should appear in person. Metta Kundali soon appeared fully decked with a celestial ornaments and told them about his rebirth in the towering sun world. Then only the audience became convinced that the son of the Brahmin Adina Bobaka, by simply devoting his mind to the Buddha, had attained much glory. And then the Buddha spoke in verse as follows. Mano Bobengama Dhamma Mano Siddha Mano Maya Mana Saji Pasanina Basadiwa Karodiwa Tatonan Sukha Manuiti Jayawa anapayini. This means all matter phenomena have mind as their forerunner. They have mind as their chief. They are mind-made. If one speaks or acts with a pure mind, happiness follows him like a shadow that never leaves him. This verse means how we experience our circumstances depends on the way we interpret them. If we interpret them in the wrong way, we experience suffering. If we interpret them in the right way, we experience happiness. In other words, our happiness or unhappiness depends on the way we think. Thought also creates circumstances in a futuristic sense. If we harbor ill will and speak or act with ill will, people will begin to hate us. We will be punished by society and the law. After death, we will also be reborn in a run of suffering. Here, thought refers to karma, action, and experience refers to vipaka, consequences. The message finally conveyed by his pair or verses is: think wrong and suffer, think right and be happy. This pair of verses was spoken by the Buddha to show the inevitable consequences of good and evil thought. Man reaps what he has sown, both in the past and in the present. What he sows now, he reaps in the present and in the future. Man himself is responsible for his own happiness and misery. He creates his own hell and heaven. He is the architect of his own fate. What he makes, he can unmake. Buddhism teaches the way to escape from the suffering by understanding and using the law of cause and effect. Buddhism is very realistic and optimistic. Instead of blindly depend on unknown supernatural powers, hoping for happiness, Buddhism finds the true way to happiness realistically. So, dear friends, what do we learn from this story? It shows us the great power of the mind. Just one sincere, pure thought can change the course of a life and even a rebirth. If our words and actions come from a good heart, happiness will follow us like a shadow that never leaves. This is the message of the Buddha. The mind comes first. If we take care of our mind, everything will follow. I would like you to ask yourself these questions. What kind of thoughts usually guide my daily life? Wholesome or unwholesome? How can I speak and act with a pure mind so that happiness follows me? If one moment of faith brought Metta Kundalini so much benefit, what would happen if we fill our lives with many moments of kindness, generosity, and mindfulness? May all beings be well and happy.